was at the library the other day. Surprise, surprise, right? And I picked out a stack of books and realized that 3 of the books that I picked out are coming of age stories. So for this particular library reading vlog, we are going to do coming of age books. This one is about 3 girls. It's called Girls with Long Shadows, and I do believe that this is like a thrillery type literary fiction book. It's about 3 triplets, baby A, baby B, baby C. They're welcome into the world, and 19 years later they work at a golf course and they come across like a dead body, I believe. Sounded really interesting. The ratings on this are not very good, so kind of worried about that, but it just sounded interesting. I like reading stories about sisters, about siblings, and possibly bad things happening along the way. But yeah, we're gonna read this. And then Mongrels by Stephen Graham Jones. This is a werewolf story. I didn't realize this was a coming of age story, so I'm really excited about this. I love me some Stephen Graham Jones. The weirder the better for me for him. And I did read his latest release last year. It wasn't my absolute favorite, Buffalo Hunter. So hopefully this one will be a win for me. I love the color, I love the yellow, love the big wolf on it, and I've heard really good things about this too. And then the next one is Sorority, and this is about a sorority and sisterly love, that kind of thing. This will be an exploration of female friendship coming of age that will appeal to anyone who has ever been curious about what happens in a sorority house. So we're gonna read these, and I'll let you know which one I start and how I feel about it, obviously. I'll take you along for my reading journey of these 3 books. Is calling one of Stephen Graham Jones's books sweet weird? Because I thought that this was so sweet, okay? I know it's a werewolf horror book, okay? But our narrator, he is one of the funniest characters that I read from in a while, and his relationship that he has with his Aunt Lily and Uncle Darren was just so sweet and heartwarming. They have to move around a lot because they're werewolves and they can't be detected, and then when they are detected they go on the run. So they are they nomads? They don't stay in a place very long. And our narrator, we are introduced to him when he is very young. And I thought that it was just really nice to see how his aunt and his uncle not only protect him, but teach him as he grows up, not just about human life, but also wolf life. And he wants to transform into a wolf so bad. He's trying to make his aunt and uncle proud. And I just really liked him. I thought that he was a very charismatic character, and I thought that he had a good head on his shoulders. He was just funny. I will say that his Aunt Lily, you don't want to mess with her, okay? She will you in a heartbeat if you mess with her little nephew or her brother or anybody in their family that they care about. I really, really liked that. And Darren, he's just like that typical uncle that messes with you all the time and like calls you dumb all the time, but if you need him, he's there, and he's going to like beat somebody up for you. In this instance, bite their head off, literally, you know. But I really liked this. I thought that it was really, really good. I'm going to give it a 4.25 just because the ending, like some of the middle and the ending did kind of drag a little bit, but I thought that this book was very charming, okay? And that's weird. I don't know if that's weird to say about Stephen Graham Jones's books, but it had a lot of heart to it, and I really liked it. So the next coming of age story we're going to read is Sorority, and I can already tell, I've already started this. I'm on chapter 3. I can already tell that this is going to be a mean girl centered book. We have a house full of girls in college, you know. They're in a sorority and they are just trying to fit in with their crowd. There was a person who died. Her name was Margot, and we're trying to figure out what happened to Margot. That's the mystery, like thrillery type of it. I think I already kind of know what it is, but I am not going to speculate to you as of right now, because I don't want to ruin anything for myself or for you. But I kind of see where the story is going already, and I also think that there are way too many characters already to keep up with. That's just me though. Jump scare. Yeah, I'm about to do my hair, but wanted to fill you in and let you know that I ended up finishing Sorority, this one, and I'm gonna tell you this, it follows entirely too many characters. Wow. It is a lot. There's a lot of characters to have to keep up with, and because we're following all the sorority girls that are in this sorority over time, and like, I get what the author was trying to do, but the author did not really, the story didn't connect very well. So if you've read The Bewitching by Sylvia Morana Garcia, or if you've read The Girls Are All So Nice Here by Elizabeth Lowell, I believe, then I think that you don't need to read this per se. Even though The Bewitching is more like a magical horror, you know? And The Girls Are All So Nice Here is more of a psychological thriller. You could even say, like, not really domestic, but you know, when there's a bunch of girls around and it's just like drama filled, and talking about girl friendships and how a lot of them are toxic, you know. That's what Sorority is all about. It's about this sorority and following all of, like I said, all the girls that are in it, and there's this one girl named Margot who dies. And I thought that it was going to be more about the mystery behind like what happened to Margot, instead of us learning every freaking thing about every freaking girl in the sorority. I don't know. It was just too much. And the story was too short to get to know all the characters, because the story itself is only 291 pages. But learning about 15 other people and their backstory and all that, 291 pages is not enough to get to know everybody. And I just don't think that the author did a really good job with connecting everything together, with really giving all the characters their own independent character arc. By the end of it, I couldn't keep up with who was who, because they all came, like, they all felt like the same character to me, even though some of them are more emotional, some of them are dramatic. We have like a little psychopath in there too, you know. But it just wasn't, in my opinion, it wasn't done very well, okay? I hate to be negative like that. But one thing that I did like about this is going back to the toxicity that girl groups can have. I have always been fascinated with why people want to join sororities or fraternities, because no shade to anybody who gets in them, but I never wanted to be in one, never had any inkling to be in one. I don't understand the psychology behind them, like paying to be in a group. I don't know. I did like the dive in that we got with the sorority, and like the different rules of the sorority and like the traditions and all that kind of stuff. I thought that was done pretty good. The author she was a sorority girl, and you can tell that she was a sorority girl by the way that she like was explaining the sorority and like everything that goes into sorority life, and the overall different dynamics of the people that are, overall dynamics of the different people that are in it, like where they came from and all that kind of stuff. But there just wasn't enough character development for me for it to be such a character heavy book. IDK. Okay, I don't know. I really just want to know your opinion. Why do people get into sororities or fraternities? Were you in one? What was your reasoning behind it? Like I said, no shade to anybody. I just never felt like I was quote unquote cool enough to join one. And I really didn't. I don't really like following traditions like that because I don't like for people to tell me what I can and cannot do and can and cannot wear and all of that. That is just not for me. But let me know in the comments down below if you were in one and why you were in it. You know, I like to understand those things about people. So I would pass. You're not missing anything. It's really just very confusing. So now I'm reading Girls with Long Shadows. And I know that this is about triplets. They live in the bayou. I think that it's going to deal with sisterhood, obviously. The complex dynamics between sisterhood and possibly some jealousy between the sisters. It does say that it's a Southern Gothic. Oh man, I cannot speak today. It does say that it's a Southern Gothic about identical triplets who live in a bayou. I don't think I'm explaining things very well. This has been me all week. I cannot get my words to cooperate with my brain. Like my brain, I can't get it. I can't get it together. Okay, I need to get it together. And I need to do my hair because it looks insane at the moment. And I have to pick my oldest son up in 10 minutes. So, yep. I'll let you know how I feel about the other book.
The sweat dripped from our hairlines like fat opals to sting our pores, scarred from bouts of violent acne. BBC hooked her pinky through the belt loop of my shorts and tugged me angrily.
I ended up finishing Girls with Long Shadows, and I'm gonna give it a 3.5. This is just a really deep exploration of these triplets in mostly their teenage years. So we have baby A, B, and C. Baby B and baby C, they get along very well, and baby A always feels a little bit left out. Baby A is a little bit of a wild card, if you want to say that, and she just does what she wants. She doesn't really care who she hurts in the process of doing that. And baby B and baby C are more nurturing and caring, whereas baby A is not. Following them as they help their grandmother run this golf course in a bayou. The townspeople don't really know how to treat the triplets because they don't know who's who, and they don't put the time in to learn who is who. So they are able to get away with a lot. But this book is more about the complexity of siblings and like triplets, twins, that complex relationship of always feeling like you have to be part of your sibling's life, but also you want your own, life, you know? And I can only imagine how it is with triplets as well, because there's 3 of you and everybody automatically puts you and your siblings in the same category when you want to be your own person. And being a teenager, I can see where that would be hard, you know? And not always getting along, but always coming back together and defending each other, just that sibling bond. But there is a lot of heartbreak in this story too. We're following from baby's B perspective. I liked baby B. I kind of wish we would have got all 3 sisters' perspectives in here, but I understand why the author did not do that too, because kind of like open-endedness, you know, for the other sisters. But yeah, it was a little slow. It was a little boring at times, but when the actual thing that happens in here happens, it's just very heartbreaking. Very, very heartbreaking. I don't know how much I can get into this. It says, okay, this is like the perfect wrap up for all of this. Captures the female teenage angst that can turn lethal with insecurities, and when they are weaponized, those sibling bonds can be severed. So, yeah. It also deals with like womanhood and growing into a woman, and then what's the right way to grow into a woman. How are you supposed to do that when you have siblings? How are you supposed to kind of like break free without breaking that bond? And also boys. The boys in this book suck. I'll just say that. They suck. They're teenage boys. Teenage boys suck for the most part. And they're exploring their sexualities. They are trying to find boys that like them for them and not just because they're triplets and they think that it's cool that they're dating a triplet. But yeah, it's just really sad. Sad. And I can see why some people wouldn't like this book, because it is so slow, and it does seem like it takes forever to get to the actual like bad thing that happens in this book. But it's just kind of like a mundane following of these sisters, their everyday lives, and seeing them grow up. So coming of age stories, I think that I still like them a lot. I think I am looking for more of non-literary, because I find literary books a little bit boring sometimes. I need a little bit more substance in my books. So like Mongrels was perfect because it had the werewolf horror elements to it, but Sorority and Girls with Long Shadows, they lean more towards literary, so I think I'm going to continue to go with more something like fantasy, horror. I don't even know about thrillers, you know, I don't know. I still love coming of age stories, but they just have to be a specific type of coming of age story. Hopefully that makes sense to you. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below if you love a good coming of age story. Let me know which one's your favorite. And I'll talk to you later. Okay, goodbye. Ow, ow, I just hit my funny bone.